They not messing around with y'all. So I made a suggestion. I'm going to just spend 10 minutes on this part. I made a suggestion the other day because I was disgusted and I was aggravated at what's going on out here in these streets. And I said, listen, we can't keep having y'all breed monsters, and we need to start holding the parents accountable for the things that the children are doing and participating in. And you said, and everybody clutched their pearls and they said, no, AD, you can't be saying that. And I said, yes, I can. Yes, I can. We need to hold the parents accountable for breeding these Jimmies. Why would you name your kid Jimmy Mac Ray anyway? But neither here nor there. I said we have to start holding the parents accountable for breeding these monsters. Everybody started clutching their pearls and everybody started getting aggravated about it. But Philadelphia decided that they wanted to do something about it. I think this is over in Philly, if I'm not. Yeah, Philadelphia said they want to do something about it. Let me show you.
A string of car break-ins over the weekend has now led to charges against 3 suspects and several of their parents. Police in Gloucester City arrested 16, 17, and 19-year-old over their alleged involvement in a series of burglaries early Sunday morning. But when police charged the teens, prosecutors opted to also hold their parents to account, accusing them of failing to supervise their children. New Jersey correspondent Chris Hartman has the details tonight.
3 arrests were made after the alleged thefts from vehicles, but the parents of the juvenile suspects were also charged. Police say it's an effort they've been using for quite some time to cut down on juvenile crime. It was early Sunday morning, around 1:30. Surveillance video shows 3 people walking near vehicles in the Highland Park section of Gloucester City. Police say it was these 3 who were arrested a short time later for breaking into cars and stealing things. You can see one trying to access cars in a driveway across the street, running from the house when a light goes on. Denise Glassman says her son-in-law's car was hit, left unlocked on Saturday evening.
That's when he called the police and found out that they had got his car along with all the other cars on the street.
She says credit cards were stolen out of it, and his bike was also stolen out of the driveway.
His kids were upset. My grandchildren are very scared now that there's going to be somebody coming to take their things.
Police say several vehicles were burglarized over the weekend. 3 suspects were taken into custody. 2 juveniles from Camden, 16 and 17 years old, and 19-year-old Wesley Hunter from Cherry Hill. Hunter had outstanding warrants and was turned over to Camden County Police. The juveniles were released to their parents, who were also charged with failure to supervise their child.
If somebody came to my house and said my kids did something wrong, I would take responsibility. Absolutely. These parents need to take responsibility.
The police chief says the charge typically involves an appearance in municipal court and likely a fine. Folks in the neighborhood say they're relieved to hear about the arrest, but are still taking precautions.
So between the dogs and the Ring camera, we just watch out for each other, you know.
I am a fan. The only thing wrong with this is I believe that there need to be more severe penalties. The only thing wrong with this is I believe that there needs to be more severe penalties for the bad actors and the people that are doing things that are bad for the community. That's the only thing wrong. We need to start charging the parents. Oh, Anton, what do you mean charge the parents? Some parents, they be at work, or some parents be doing this, or some parents doing that. Well, that's not my problem. That's not my problem. That is the problem of them, because who wants their stuff burglarized? Who wants to have their cars broken into? Who wants to be dealing with a situation where people have been destroying and tearing up things for an extended period of time, and nobody is being held as a result of it? Nobody is held accountable as a result of it. Whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? Who should pay for that? Should the taxpayers pay for that? Should your kids pay for it whose bikes got stolen? Who should pay for the things that your nasty, ugly, raggedy kids are doing that is destroying the culture and the neighborhood? Who should pay for that? Oh, Anton, but some people are single mothers or whatever. That sounds like a personal problem to me, because you shouldn't have them if you can't raise them right. If you're not willing to listen. If you're not willing to be 100% accountable and responsible for what is happening with your children, then you should not have them. You should not have children at all. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is not society's fault. This is not everybody else's fault. This is not everybody else's responsibility for what happens to your child. You should be 100% responsible for what your child is doing out here in these streets at 1:30 a.m. on a school night. It's a school night. What your kids doing out here at 1:30 a.m. in a school night? Bro, if I had got caught doing some stuff like this when I was younger, I'm going to say something a little bit more controversial. And I know that the majority of y'all are not going to agree with me, but hear me out. Hear me out here. Okay? Hear me out. I believe that parents should have a longer leash, more authority, and more leeway to do with their kids what they want to do to them when it comes to discipline. I believe, listen, this is the Millionaire Morning Show. Anton has some new sponsorships that I'm working on, so I have to be careful with my words. But let me just read between the lines and make it make sense for you. I believe that parents should be able to go way, way, way further. Way, way, way further in dealing with their children as they see fit when they don't meet the expectations. I don't really think there should be much autonomy over how a parent disciplines their kid. I don't think. Oh, no. I don't. Listen, you saying get the strap. I don't think you should be limited. Maybe this is a conversation for after hours. Maybe I should put that on after hours. Let me write that down for me to go on after hours. Let me put that on after hours. I believe that parents should have a much, 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 much longer leash to where, yeah, it's limited because they can call Child Protective Services and all of this other stuff and whatever. I believe you should be able to do, bruh. Let me tell you something. I believe that what happens in your household should not have anything to do with the public's opinion of it. Man, woman, domestic violence situations, that sound like a personal problem. Domestic violence situations, y'all need to work that out. We not having police resources that go for that. Now, if you want to file something in court and all of that, then that's y'all. If you want to get out, you need some help, cool. But that sounds like a personal problem. You pick them, you deal with them. I don't think we should be having police services for stuff that happens inside of y'all households. Unless somebody is being chained up and can't move and they being locked up against their will. Outside of that, handle it. That's a y'all problem. That ain't got nothing to do with me. I believe that we could fix a lot of problems and solve a lot of issues. I believe that women would vet more effectively. I paid attention to what happened over there in Kentucky. Anonymous says you ain't getting no sponsors, big dog. That's cool. I don't care. I'm going to be honest with you. It's a nice to have. I'm going to do my best to be on my best behavior, but I don't care. Like, honestly, it is. Like, there is nothing else that I can buy or that I would want to buy that I don't already have. I got all the cars that I want, and if I don't have it, it's already on order. I live where I want to live. I have a great space. My daughter's is straight for the rest of her life. Her college is paid for. My wife is good. All of my homes and my real estate is straight, and my studio is mine, and I own 100% of myself. It's a nice to have, but it's not. I'm not tripping about it. I'm not going to be controlled. That's the biggest thing that I keep telling these people that I'm negotiating with as I traverse over to 1 million subscribers. I think we like 16,000 away on the other channel. I don't care. I genuinely don't care. I'm going to do whatever I want to do when I want to do it. And if anybody want to ride with me, then you could just ride with me and you can benefit off of it. But I'm good for the rest of I'm not tripping. Every computer that I have is mine. My phones is mine. I don't have a AT&T payment plan or something like that. I just don't care. And so if we get it, we get it. If we don't, we don't. But I'm going to stand on what I said. I believe that we need to remove the government out of the homes. For example,
Make a day of it. It is 6:04. Well, let's get to the story from overnight. An 18-year-old man shot and killed
bag chasers love
after
me.
apparently an argument with a bunch of other people.
So Morgan is live with more on what happened.
Alex, Mike, good morning. Yeah, so police, they are still early on in their investigation, but this happened just after 12:30. And like you mentioned, Mike, this all started as some type of verbal altercation, some type of argument. Police say that they received calls of gunshots on 31st and Norris Streets. When they got there, that's when they found that 18-year-old lying unresponsive in the backyard of a private home. Police say that he was suffering from gunshot wounds to his torso. He was later transported to the hospital where he died shortly after 1 a.m. And police say they believe the shooters were firing shots from several different locations in the area. Chief Small also says he believes the shooters were mid to late teens and may have fled the scene in a very light-colored SUV.
So it appears that this shooter or shooters were firing shots from many different locations in the area.
What up, OG Rihanna? I love you too.
And Norris. And where we found the victim, he was laying in the backyard of a property next to a fence in the 1900 block of North 31st Street.
So again, police, they're still searching for the suspect or suspects, and Chief Small says that there were several surveillance cameras in the area, so right now they're looking through all the footage. They do have about 2 witnesses. Again, those are the ones who said that they saw or heard this verbal altercation or argument going on, so hopefully we can get some answers later on in the morning. For now, I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
Yeah, she is pretty. That's a pretty girl. She is a pretty reporter. Shout out to y'all in the chat for pointing that out. But this is an example. Keep your kids out the street. If we had more people, shout out to you, Tasha. I'm glad you understand that. That's why we don't censor people. If we had more parents that were more participatory inside of their children's lives, we would start to have less of this nonsense. Honestly, if you had your kids out of the streets, they wouldn't be in gangs. I did a report the other day where I think it was Friday that I did that report where they was saying that it's over 10,000 young people in gangs in New York City. What you mean 10,000 young people in gangs? You should be able to deal with your kid accordingly. If you joining a gang? You doing what? You should be, listen. You should be able to deal with your kid how you see fit. If you find out that your child is in a gang, I'm sorry. You should be able to do whatever you want. You should be able to do whatever you want. How can you have 10,000, more than 10,000 people joining gangs? That means y'all just breeding soldiers to tear up the streets.